A client treated me like her 24/7 personal IT slave, so I quit with 2 days notice and reset the site to default. I started my first PM job a few years ago, managing several larger well-known banks as my main accounts. Then, I was assigned to run the back end of a website for a special client due to my web design experience. After about a year, my bank accounts were transferred to another team, allowing me to focus solely on the website. I was responsible for migrating content from the old platform to a newer, more streamlined one, but I had to build everything manually because the two sites didn't communicate well. After a few months, I completed the task and submitted it for review. My manager told me it looked great and approved it for launch. From that point, my life became chaotic. I received calls, texts, and emails from the woman in charge of the purchasing department, who used the site the most since it was meant for internal purchasing for interior branding. She had a list of thousands of issues that needed fixing, changes requested, and items to be removed. This was all new information. All descriptions, sizes, and images were taken from the brand book, but now she rewrote everything to improve it for her on the site. I made all these updates without any issues. With nothing else on my plate and this being busy work, I didn't mind the tasks, but the constant interruptions from the purchasing woman were overwhelming. If I didn't answer my phone immediately, I'd receive a text. If I didn't respond to that quickly, I'd get another call, followed by an email, and possibly another text saying, "Hello?" I started receiving these calls at all hours, sometimes as late as 11:30 at night, and I made it a point never to answer any of them after I left the office. This constant barrage stressed me out and raised my anxiety every time my phone rang, which my wife began to notice. I brought this up with my manager, who advised me to keep doing what I was doing, respond while working, but not after hours. Eventually, I completed all her updates and sent them off for review. I was then reassigned to a smaller project that, at least, didn't involve website work anymore. After about a week of silence from her, I received a massive list in red emailed to me, my manager's boss, and the CEO of the company whose website I was working on. The big boss and CEO informed me that I was to answer her calls at any time. Her website was a top priority, and anything she needed done must be completed ASAP. By then, I was already fed up with the job, so I found a better paying PM position where I am now, and I felt stressed just anticipating another call or text from her. I informed them that Friday would be my last day on Wednesday. Well, panic set in. No one else knew how to work the site. 2 days wasn't enough time to train someone new, and her updates needed to go in immediately, with more expected over the weekend. I simply stated it was not my issue. I could do what I could in those 2 days, but Friday at lunch, I was leaving for good. They found an IT intern who claimed to have web development experience, so I sat with him on Thursday to review the basics. However, he looked at me as if I were speaking in binary. I managed to simplify things enough to teach him how to edit the text, images, and variants, but that was about it. Later that night, I received an email from the purchasing woman. It contained another huge list of updates she demanded I change before I quit, along with some remarks about how I was screwing her over. The comment irritated me, so I forwarded the email to my manager, her boss, and the website CEO, then went to bed, formulating a plan for the morning. The first sentence in her massive list of changes she wanted was to set the website to default so she could edit things herself and not the IT guy I had just trained. Well, little did she know, setting it back to default sets everything back to default and will remove all my work. I could have been nice and saved a copy of everything, but I was done with her and had been told to do whatever she needed, so I did just that. That was all I did that morning. I clicked, "Are you sure?" 3 times before the site returned to default and started cleaning out my laptop and desk. I said my goodbyes to a few coworkers and left around 10:30 that morning. It was maybe around 2:33 p.m. when I got a call on my cell from my now previous manager. She was freaking out that the site was empty and no one was able to make any purchases. I told her I was just following the purchasing lady's orders to set it to default so she could edit it, and I was also following the big boss when he said to do whatever she needed done. She sighed long and said, "Okay, thanks, and have a good one," or something, then hung up. I heard from a friend who still worked there that the purchasing lady blew up, demanded we fix the site, and claimed she would sue me for making her do all this work now. I guess they did not resign with that client this year, and when I go to the site now, it still does not load properly, so I'm not sure how they are managing their interior branding purchases.